man and the eunuch
monna yo wa Moethiopia wa moopafadiwa
is traveling in his chariot.
o palame kara ya gagwe o tsere loeto.
He's heading from Gaza to Jerusalem to worship.
o tswa Gaza o ya Jerusalema go a go obamela.
In his chariot,
mo kareng ya gagwe
he's reading the book of Isaiah.
o bala buka ya ga Isaiah moporofita.
Philip is in Samaria.
Filipo o ko Samaria.
The angels speak to him
moengele o bua le ene
to go and meet this eunuch.
go a go kopana le monna wa moopafadiwa.
This eunuch guy,
monna yo wa moopafadiwa
he is not just a eunuch.
ga se moopafadiwa hela.
The Bible says that he was the keeper of the treasures.
Bible ya re e ne le modisa mahumo.
He had the keys to the treasures.
o nana le dilotlele tsa khumo.
He had the keys
o ne ana le dilotlele
to the treasures.
tsa mahumo.
The guy is entrusted with keys.
moka wana yo o tshepilwe ka dilotlele.
If the riches and the wealth of the palace are concerned,
ha go buiwa ka khumo tsa lehilo leo,
you ask it on the eunuch.
di botse monnayo.
If there is anybody who know how wealthy the kingdom of Ethiopia is,
ga gona le motho yo o itseng gore Ethiopia o humile go le kae,
you ask it the eunuch.
botsa moopafadi.
It's funny that you may find that the queen is not even aware of what is under her possession.
o tla lemoga gore gongwe mmakgosi ga itse gore o na le.
And everybody, the very person who knows what the queen possesses one by one is the eunuch.
motho yo o itseng gore kgosigadi o na le eng ke moopafadi.
This eunuch guy is the keeper of the wealth of the kingdom of Ethiopia.
monna yo ke ene modisa mahumo a Ethiopia.
Anything to do with gold,
sepe se se berekanang le gouta,
anything to do with silver,
ga re bua ka selefera,
anything to do with pearls,
ga re bua ka tsone tsee,
and any other blissful mineral,
le motswako kana setswammung sepe se se kgatlhisang.
the eunuch is the keeper.
monna yo ke ene motlhokomedi.
If the citizen of Ethiopia are paying tax,
ha batho ba Ethiopia ba duela,
it is the eunuch who count the tax, not the tax
ke
collector.
ene yo balang madi a.
The tax collector will collect the tax,
mophuthi ke ene a phutha,
but will later hand it over to the eunuch
kgante jana o neela sa se phuthileng monnayo
to keep it.
gore a se tshegetse.
If ever anything is required from the treasures,
ha gona le sepe se se batliwa mo mabolokelong,
that must be used or be spent,
se se tshwantseng sa dirisiwa,
the eunuch is the one who unlocks the treasure
monna yo ke ena a bulang sekgwapa
and hand over whatever required.
a tise sepe se se batliwa.
Anything given, he receives it and he locks it in the treasure.
Se se neelwang wa se tsawa se lotlella.
The eunuch is entrusted with the wealth of the kingdom.
monna yo o tshepilwe ka khumo tsa mmu.
They are keepers of the wealth of the kingdom.
gona le batho ba bana ba ba mmuso o dio tsa mmuso,
They are even accountable for what the king possesses.
ba botsisisiwa ka tse kgosi a nana,
And they ensure safety
ba diragatsa gore di babalesegile
in everything that comes in their possession.
le sengwe se tlang ga pele ga bona.
And that is where I get my confidence to say
ke sone se ke tla buang ka masetla ke
they are keepers of the kingdom wealth.
ba tshegeditse mahumo a mmuso.
It's an insult to have a eunuch who is poor.
ke thoga ko gore o nne le moopafadiwa yo o humanegileng.
kingdom wealth is their wealth.
mahumo a mmuso ke a bona.
Before you can entrust them with the treasure,
pele ga o ka tshepiwa ka sekgwama,
destroy and kill the appetite for value.
re tshwanetse gore re bolae takatso ya bogoboka.
If you still value certain things, you still have a problem.
ga o santse o rata dilo dingwe o na le mathata,
And you can't be entrusted with certain
o
things.
ka se tshepiwe ka dilo tse dingwe.
It's deadly to entrust men with a lot of money if you don't deal with greed.
go kotsi gore o tshepe motho ka madi o sa berekane le bongame jwa gago.
If you put money in the hands of the man who loves money, hey,
ga o ba madi mo diatleng tsa monna yo o ngame,
you are brooding the second Judas.
o batla go tsosolosa Judas wa bobedi.
Before you give Judas money,
pele ga o neela Judas madi,
destroy his appetite for value of money.
senya bongame.
If Judas value money,
ga Judas a rata
you have
madi,
placed money in the hands of a dangerous man.
o isitse phuduhudu bosago.
If Judas loves money
ga Judas a rata
and
madi,
you entrust him with the treasure,
o ba mo tshepa ka sekgwama,
he will try to find other opportunities and strategies
wa go batla tetana tse dingwe
on
gape,
how to make more money on the monies you have given him.
wa go dirisa madi a go batla madi a mangwe.
And that man is not ready to give that money. He is greedy.
monna yo a ka se ntshe madi o ngata.
If the Lord is to entrust you with wealth,
ga morena a go tshepa ka khumo,
you must come to a cross where you devalue what the Lord is about to give you.
o tshwanetse gore o seke wa rata thata se morena a se go neela.
If I see and I know that you love money a lot,
ga ke lemoga gore o rata madi
and I
thata,
give you money,
ke be ke go neela madi,
I've given you a dangerous tool against me.
ke go neetse sepetsa kgatlhanong le nna,
Because possibilities of you using what I've given you against me, it's very hard.
ka gore wa go dirisa se ke se go neetseng kgatlhanong le nna.
I give you money, tomorrow you come and haste me.
Ke go neela madi kgante jana o tlile go nthukusa,
Because the spirit of greediness says I have a lot.
ka gore
So you find a way on
le
how.
mantsi, wa go batla gore o boe o tle go a batla mo go nna.
Place value on money. Place value on anything.
ba tlhwatlhwa mo go sepe kana
Wheresoever you place your value,
sepe se o se
it
ratang
becomes your God.
e nna modimo wa gago.
If I place value upon money,
ga ke rata madi,
my life is decided
botshelo jwa me bo tseelwa
and
tshwetso,
determined
bo laolwa
by the presence of it.
ke boleng teng jwa madi.
And the absence of it, you will know.
Go tlhoka madi o tla lemoga.
How ka tsa value ya ba mo madi? How tshonneng ka go lemoga? Ha ona lone ke a go sala ke go bone. Because madi a o ke modimo wa na gago, modimo wa na gago o determine mmudi wa gago. La nkutla mos. Modimo o tshwantse ra bolae ga te value keng gone mo tlhwatlhwa gore la le teng kana seo ga gore sepe. Hello, a le teng kana seo ga gore sepe. Ke bua ka worship of le teng kana seo ga gore sepe, ga go no lemogang sepe. Whether there or not, the difference is still the same. Mona gona le batho ba re mana le madi ba ka re ba bone modimo. Gore ha sa kgomege o tshwanetse ra go itshase. Gore la ka ra motlhokomologa o tshwanetse ra itshukunyetse gore o ya le moga go bona le bokae. Because o batla recognition ya gore o mo lemoga gore o na le madi. Wa tlhaloganya gore ga tshele sentle gore o bo sa itse gore o na le madi. You should know gore o na le madi.
O tshwanetse gore o itse
gore la o ka re mo tseleng o tshwanetse ra tswa kwa tswang teng a tsena gape la gago gore go itlheleng a draw attention ya gago gore go rileng. What's wrong with you? Why are you bothering me?
mathata a gago ke eng
Gore o tole mogele gore o na le madi ela, that's it. E be le kgaoga. sena madi o tla sala ka o bone ka bosong ja gagwe. Place money
baya madi
in the hands of someone who values it.
mo diatleng tsa motho yo a ratang.
You have brooded a greedy and a stingy candidate.
O dirile motho yo ngana.
Now that this guy is a eunuch,
Jalong ka gore monna yo ke moopafadiwa.
the value for money,
Go rata madi,
the value for the treasure
go rata sekgwama
is not in him.
ga go mo go ene.
Kore la lebeletse gauta yana e. Ha go tle sepe mo go ene go raetse o ka etsa wa bona o ka etsenya mo diaparong o ka epega mo karenya o ka e utswa a ba tsamaya ka yona. What's enough a ba dirisa maemo a go, because Bible ya re he was a man of great authority.
Ene le monna wa
Ke
taolo
mo
ya
mo
kgolo.
searchang nobody, because ha heta e tshotse mongwe le mongwe ke yesel wa go irang ka yona. Number 1, ga ana mosadi ana ngwana, he's a eunuch. Ha ana lapa la go ke palace, o isa kae o ka trade ka yone, he want madi a teng wa go irang ka yone because o ja mo palace. Ga ana value for treasure, he can't steal it.
Ga ka ke a utswa se.
Give it to Judas.
Ene le Judas.
If the box is not enough, he will sell you.
Ha o sa lekana sekgwama o rekisa wena.
Judas ga bolwa ke madi o palelwe ke gore ga itse gore tlhwatlhwa a e be mo go yeng. He misplaced value.
O na sa
You
itse
don't know
gore
where
a
to
be
place
tlhwatlhwa.
value,
Ga o itse gore o be tlhwatlhwa mo go eng.
and because you don't know where to place it,
Ka gore ga o itse go e ba ha kae.
the Lord is going to help you.
Morena wa gore thusa.
Kankele hang the shortest route to be entrusted with the kingdom treasure and wealth.
Ke go hetselana e khutshwane gore o tshepiwe ka kgang tsa mmuso.
Don't place value.
O se ke wa rata.
Don't attach,
O se ke wa itomaganya thata.
but always be ready to distribute.
O ipankanyeditse go phatlhalatsa.
I said, don't attach, be ready to distribute anytime.
Sa nneng a me ipankanyetse go phatlhalatsa.
If o santse o na le dio dingwe mo teng ga gago, ga o isoswe, because lesole gantsi e seng la rest in peace. Le mo tlhaloganyong, mo diatleng, mo matlhong, mo molomong wa gago, mo pelong, le gantsi if you are not dead in certain areas within yourself,
Ga o isoswe mo diong dingwe mo botshelong ba gago.
the level of the worship you render,
Legato la kobamelo ya o itsisang.
the level of the worship you render, that worship will come in particles.
Kobamelo yo ya go tla e kgaogane
It will
kgaogane.
never come full,
Ga ena go tla e tletse.
because you still have certain things to yourself
Ka gore o santse o na le dilo dingwe
that you
mo
are
go
not
wena.
ready to give away for the Lord.
Tse o sa batleng go di latlha gore o ngaparele morena.
You value them so much that you're not ready to break away from them.
O di rata mo o sa batleng go
You are
kgaogana le
so
tsone.
entangled, so attached,
O di kgomaretse thata.
that you can't give certain things you think you love for the
O
Lord.
ka se neele dilo tse o di ratang go direla morena.
Until you reach that level of a eunuch,
Ke go itlhella o tsena mo legatong la moopafadi.
where the treasure doesn't matter but you are the keeper of it.
Ha se kgwama se sa mathareng mme e le
We
wena o-
refuse with ourselves.
re gana ka rona.
And how do we do so?
Re dira janja.
You praise me with your lips, but your hearts are far away
O
from me.
nkgalaletsa ka dipouna mapelo e kgakala le nna.
Didn't he say so in his word?
A ga a bua jalo mo lefokong
Your
la gagwe.
heart is far.
Pelo ya gago e kgakala.
It's a lip service, but your heart is far away from it.
Go bua dipouna mapelo e kgakala le
When
tsone.
he's saying your heart, is talking about you.
Ha a bua ka pelo o bua ka wena.
Because the heart is the seat.
Ka gore pelo ke yone e kanto. Ke setulo.
The heart is the seat.
Pelo ke bodulo.
If your heart is far than your heart, there is someone sitting in the seat of your heart.
Ha pelo ya gago
That's why you do lip service to the Lord. You refuse with yourself because you are sitting in the seat of your heart. Hear me. There must be a matrimony. There must be a wedding between your heart and your lips. Because any time your mouth is to speak, it must speak the issues of your heart. The Bible says, in the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. But what our mouth is saying, it is always contradicting what the heart is saying. There is a contradistinction between your mouth and your heart. Your mouth says what your heart is not saying. But this very afternoon, the Lord is saying, your mouth and your heart must marry, so that whatsoever your mouth is saying, it is the truth of your heart. You are saying it from your inner being. Am I speaking to people here? Your mouth and your heart must marry. Don't refuse with yourself. Come down, step away from the seat of your heart and allow him to sit on it. And when he has sit on the seat of your heart and your heart is full of him, the confession and the profession of your mouth becomes glorious words. When he's seated in your heart, in the fullness of the heart, Jesus is the fullness of God. When Jesus, the fullness of God, find a residing place in your heart, he brings the fullness of God and the fullness of God in Christ. Colonize your heart. When the heart is full of Christ, the mouth speaks. And what is the mouth saying? The mouth will say without a lie that Jesus is the Lord, to the glory of God the Father. If you want to see the heart of a man, hear what he says. Whatever he is saying will determine the content of his heart. If I want to know your heart, I hear your way. Because every word has a spirit. You catch the spirit of the word, and I will decide and tell the state of your heart. Words mirror your heart. Don't refuse with yourself. Give him your heart. And in the fullness of the heart, the mouth will speak. You don't know worship as you think you can in your own ability. Hear me, no matter you are a philosopher, no matter you are a nerd or an intellect, and you are able to structure words with all gigantic and infinite and you try to describe God with your intellect. If your heart is not full of him, you are lying. Even if I'm to structure a word and say, God, you are good, but my heart is not full of that, I'm lying. Because the goodness of the Lord in my life is an encounter. If I don't encounter his goodness to me, what I'm saying is a hearsay. I must say what I've encountered. There are theologians out there who have studied the Bible, They can open up their mouth and preach.
ba ka pula melomo ba re
But if you're not spiritual,
mme ba sa tlala ka moya
if you don't catch the spirit of the word,
ha o sa tshegetse moya wa lefoko
you will say God is here.
wa gore morena o teng
You are not in the presence of the Lord. You are in a university.
ga o mo bolenteng jwa morena o mo sekolong
If his goodness becomes my encounter,
ha tshiamo ya gago e le bokopano jwa
my profession
ka ha ke buang ka teng
is true.
ke boammaaruri
If Jesus is in my heart
ha Jesu a ntse mo pelong ya
and my heart is full of him,
pelo ya me e tletse ka ena
the words of my mouth
mahoko a ke a buang
is him in words.
ke ene ke tlhalosa ka mafu
If he's full in your heart,
ha a tletse mo pelong ya
he
gago
will worship himself through you.
wa go ikobamela ka wena
If he's full in you,
ha a tletse mo go
he
wena
will worship himself through you.
wa go dirisa molomo wa gago go ikobamela
Because he know who he is.
ka gore o itse gore ke mang
He will just privilege your mouth.
wa go neela molomo wa gago tshono
Just your mouth will be privileged
molomo wa gago wa go neelwa
to
monyetla
define him as he defined himself within you.
go mo tlhalosa ka maitlhalosang ka teng mo go wena
If inside of my heart he is saying, I am God,
ha mo teng ga pelo ya me a re ke modimo
the spirit of him who rests in me will give my mouth utterance.
moya o mo go yo mo go no ntse mo go nna wa go neela puo
And the utterance will,
mme puo eo
you are God. He just said, I am God in me. My confession is, you are God.
ha re ke modimo mo teng ga me nna ke a re o modimo
Ke batla gore o utlwe gore ka reng sentle. When he's saying, I am God
ha
inside
a
of me,
re ke modimo mo teng ga
my mouth is given a privilege to say, you are God.
molomo wa me one o neelwa monyetla gore
When my mouth says you are God, what am I doing?
ka reng ga go diragala
I'm
jang
taking what he's throwing at me back to him.
ke tsa sa se neelang ke se busetsa ko go ena
I am God. When I open my mouth, I say, you are God.
ha re ke modimo ka re
My worship is not he is God.
kopamelo ya me ga se gore ke modimo
My worship doesn't say he is God. No.
kopamelo
My
ga se
worship
ke
is you are God because he said, I am God in my heart.
nna ka re o modimo ka gore ene a re ke modimo mo teng ga
I'm not saying he is God because if I say he's God, it's like I'm talking about someone who is.
o ka re ke bua ka mongwe yo o kgakala
Worship is not far-fetched.
kopamelo ga e kapiwe kgakala
It's an inner thing.
ke selo se se mo teng ga gago
If he says, I am the Lord,
ha a re ke modimo
and his spirit gives my mouth utterance,
moya wa gago bo neela molomo go
I don't
bua.
say he is the Lord.
ga ke re ke
I
modimo
say you are the Lord. I take it back to him.
ka re o morena
Kore o bua selo se se kapang ke molomo wa me bo apo se buisetsa ko go ene gape. Worship is knowing how to catch and reverse back the glory.
kopamelo ke go itse go kapa o bo o busetsa kgalalelo ko go ena
You must know how to catch and reverse it back.
itse gore o kapa jang o busetsa ko go ena
Don't refuse with yourself.
sa gane ka wena
Because if you refuse with yourself,
ka gore ha o gana ka wena
in your heart,
mo pelong ya gago
what will become fullness
se sa go nnang botlalo
is issues.
ke dikgang
You mama here, you complain
o
there.
ngongorega ga
You are anxious about that.
o ngongorega
You are unsettled about here and
ga
this.
wa tsepama ka tsele
You are never settled.
ga wa iketla
That's why you are growing old.
ke sone se o tsogalang
It's
pele ga
intentional. Too much complaining. Later on, you become acidic.
go ngongorega thata
You end up eating yourself.
o hella o ija
You scourge yourself.
wa
Because where there is
So hard.
acid, there is no beauty.
ka gore ha go nang le seji teng ga gona bontle
You are even dangerous to your own being.
o kotsi mo go wena
The more they do it, the more they are always refreshed. And the younger they become.
ga ba o bamela ba ntšhagadiwa ba nna ba botlana
Banna ba le bright fela. You will not even expect a negative mood. No. Because they know the wells where they are refreshed.
ka gore ba itse gore ba ntlagadiwa ga ka
He will never allow a worshiper to erode or corrode.
ga
Never.
ka ka a mo letlelela gore a nne majo
Because time and again he wants a fresh thing.
ka gore kgapetsa-kgapetsa o batla tse dišwa
From this person I want a fresh thing.
ke batla se sešwa mo mothong
That is why I must keep them fresh.
ke sone se ke tshwantseng ke bantlagatse
Ga re kgabise setorona modimo ka dithunya. No. I am the rose that decorates the throne of God.
ke sethunya se se kgabisang torone ya gago
And I shouldn't fade away.
ke seka ka swang
I'm like a tree planted by the
ke
rivers.
tshwana le setlhare se se lemilweng
My roots are deep down the waters.
medi ya me e tsene mo
My leaves are always green.
matlhare a
Read
tala
Psalms.
bala dipasele
I'm always fruitful in and out of
ke
season.
nna ke ungwa mo pakeng
I am always blossoming.
ke nna ke phaphasela ke le montlenyana
Time to time.
nako le nako
No time when I fade away. No.
ga gona nako ye ke
I'm
tlhotlhorega
always relevant every day.
ke nna ke tsepame ka nako
I'm
tsotlhe
given opportunity to the presence of God.
etse monyetla mo bolenteng jwa
I am
moleng
fresh and relevant.
ke tsepame ke
And I
matlhagatlhaga
know what to render.
ke itse gore ke neele eng
Because my attachment and entanglement is the source.
ka gore ke lomagane le yo neela
He teaches my lips what to say and how to say it concerning himself.
o ruta dipounama tsa me gore di bue jang ka ene
I said he teaches my lips on what to say and how to say. It's one thing to say and not knowing how to say it.
ke sengwe go itse go bua o sa itse gore o bue jang
But he teaches my lips what to say and how to say it.
o ruta pounama tsa me go bua le gore ke bue jang
How to say it, I mean without increasing or substituting or adding or I say it as he says it.
ke bua jaaka a bua
I don't add, I don't subtract.
ga
I
ke
know how to say
ga
it.
ke hokotsa ke itse gore ke bue jang
Even if you can tell Nebuchadnezzar that Nebuchadnezzar will not worship, I only worship the God of Israel. If Nebuchadnezzar doesn't know the God of Israel, he will not enforce his lips or his mouth to speak for the God of Israel. He
a
will not.
nebukadnesa a sa itse modimo wa iseraele a ka se pateletse pounama tsa go bua ka ene
Until the fourth man appear in the fire.
go itlhelela monna wa bona a
And
iponagatsa
when he showed up in the fire,
ga iponagatsa mo molelong
he taught the eyes of Nebuchadnezzar to see him.
o ruta matlho a ga nebukadnesa go mmona
And when the eyes of Nebuchadnezzar are taught on how to see Jesus,
ga matlho a gago a rutiwa go bona
he
jesu
also teach the lips of Nebuchadnezzar on what to say.
a ruta leleme la gago gore
He
a
said,
bue.
didn't we throw 3 men in the furnace?
a re ga ke a latlhela ba le
You have
bararo mo
spoken
molelong
well.
o buile
But
sentle
he said, I see one.
a re ke bona yo
The
mongwe
fourth man, he looked like the son of
o
God.
lebega jaaka morwa modimo
Who told him?
o boleletswe ke
Who
ngwana
taught him
o rutilwe ke
that is the
ngwana
son of God?
gore ke morwa modimo
Unless he is the one
e seng jalo e le
who
ene
opened your eyes
yo butsang matlho a
and
gago
gave you
a
enlightenment.
ba go neela lesedi
Bible said the book of Ephesians
bibele ya bua mo buka ya
that
gae
give us understanding
gore re neele
and
tlhaloganyo
enlighten the eyes of our
o
understanding.
tlhalose tlhaloganyo
When your
ya
eyes, when the scales of your eyes are dropped
ga
down,
dikgopho tsa matlho a ka godiwa
his revelation is eminent.
tsenolelo ya gago e nna
Your
teng
eyes have seen him.
matlho a gago a
And when
mmo
your eyes have seen him,
a matlho a mmo
your eyes will teach your mouth
matlho a gago a tla ruta molomo wa
on
gago
what to say and how to say
o
it.
bua eng o se bue
He's
jang
not just the footman.
ga se monna wa
That's
bonegela
a haphazard
ke
statement.
karabo ye e sa tlhamalalang
The truth is,
boammaaruri ke
he's
gore
the son.
ke morwa
Where did he get that from?
o tsere seo ka
Nebuchadnezzar, were you at the river Jordan
a no le ko nokeng ya
when John
Jorodani?
was baptizing
Ha
Jesus?
Johane a kolobetsa
From the
Jesu
water, heavens opened,
go tswa mo metsing me
and the
magodimo a
voice
bulega.
spoke,
lentswe la
and the
bua
voice said,
lentswe la re
Behold,
a re bona
this is my beloved
yo
son,
ke a
in whom I'm
ratiwa
well pleased.
yo ke kgatlhegang mo go yena
Who told you?
boleletswe ke
Hear me. At
kutlwa
Caesarea Philippi,
ko Kasaria Philippi
Simeon was not born again,
yone o ne a sa tswalwa
but he was
setso
always around Jesus.
le o ne a le mo go
It's one thing
Jesu
to be around,
ke sengwe go nna
it's
ga go
another to
Jesu
encounter.
ke sengwe go
When
ikopana
they were
le
in
ene
Caesarea Philippi,
ba le ko lehelong
Simeon
le
was not born again.
Simeon o ne a sa
But
tswalwa
Jesus
setso
asked his disciples,
Jesu a
whom do men say
gore batho ba
I, the Son of Man, am?
nna morwa
Some said you are Jeremiah,
bangwe ba re o
you are
Jeremia
Elijah, John the
bangwe ba
Baptist,
re o Elijah
or one of the
Johane.
prophets.
Kana mongwe
But
wa
whom do you say I am?
ba re wena wa
And
re
Simeon
ke mang?
said,
Simeon ya
Thou
ba
art the
re, o
Christ,
Keresete,
the Son of the living God.
ka Modimo yo
Who
sele
told you?
o boleletswe ke
Jesus
mang?
said,
Jesu a
flesh
re
and blood
nama le
did not
mane
reveal this thing to you,
o senolela
but
dilo
my Father who is in heaven has given you the revelation. And I tell you today, thou art Peter. And I tell you again, upon this rock I will build my church. The gates of hell will never prevail against it. Hear me. In churches built on the revelation. Jesus said, who told you? He answered, my Father. He must tell you. And after telling you who he is, it's not enough. At least you confuse him for Jeremiah. He must teach you how to say what he told you. I said he must teach you how to say what he told you. Jeremiah, I've put my word in your mouth. It's one thing to have the word in your mouth and you don't know how to articulate it. You must be taught by the place of the word on how to say the word. That is why the eunuch was reading the book of Isaiah but had no understanding. And the one who was given the word and is taught how to break it down is the one who had to ease in what the eunuch was reading. Whatever he's saying of himself, it's imperative to tell him. Tell him, teach me how to say what you are saying. Teach me how to worship as you worship. Teach me to glorify you as you do. There you must become one with him. Eunuchs, they ride on chariots. Worshippers are riders of chariots. And chariots biblically are the fastest mode of transport. If worshippers descend, they are expected to arrive quickly. If worshippers vacate, they are expected to arrive well on time. There is a need for a chariot. They must ride on the chariot. Can I tell you one thing? Chariots, biblically, kings were riding on chariots. This is transport for kings. That's why Elijah would tell Ahab, go quickly before rain can stop here. And when he was done, the Bible said that and he rode in his chariot. The hand of the Lord came upon Elijah, drove him to Jezreel. Ahab found him there. Alright, funny, Elijah didn't ride on a chariot, but Ahab did. And the chariot that Elijah did not ride, if Elijah is to go to heaven this time, he doesn't need the hand of God. But for him to go to heaven, he needed the chariot and the horses of fire. They carried him from here to heaven. And has a transport in a Elijah who is riding on that chariot? Because Elijah is not in the chariot, he is seated. But the chariot is empty. It's for the worshipper to ride in the chariot. I don't know if you are ready for this. Pharaoh came behind the Israelites. He was riding in a chariot. Worshippers are chariot riders. The fastest mode of transport. What am I saying? Worshippers are travelers. When I speak of chariots, I'm saying worshippers are travelers. They transition from realms to realms. They ride from dimensions to dimensions. They exchange glory for glory. They move from glory to another glory, to another glory, to another glory. They journey
They travel. The spirit of a worshiper can be here. But here, don't confuse them for this house. They are worshiping here. Don't confuse them for what the body is. The body can be here, but the spirit is in a chariot. The body is here, but the spirit is in a chariot. The spirit is in a journey. The spirit is in a journey. The spirit is traveling. It's moving up and about. They are worshiping here, but the spirit is in UK, addressing certain matters there. Am I speaking to you? There is a woman called Coolman. The woman was a traveler. The woman had a chariot. That is why she was able to preach in America. Same time in the altar. People in the UK, in a church, saw her in the pulpit preaching to them. When people in America are jubilating and ministering, same time in UK they're also jubilating. At the end of the service, she's wondering, I heard that I was in UK, but the last time I remember I'm in America. And people in UK said, yes, you were with us in UK, but how? They journeyed, they traveled. I have tasted the chariot of the spirit. The other day, if you not episode, there is that other sister. She went to talk when she was praying in the mountain, and I was in my house asleep. All of a sudden in the mountain a snake appeared, and when she was standing, she was just by the cliff, nowhere to go, and the snake is approaching her. If she go this way, she's falling down. Going down, she's and she said, where is my father Apostle Phitshane? Instantaneously I showed up in the mountain in Tokwe. I took her by the hand, walked across, and placed her somewhere. And she called me, and she said, Daddy, where are you? I said, I'm in Mopani. And she said, but you are with me in Tokwe. I said, how? How can that be? How can it be? How is it possible that I'm asleep in my house, yet my spirit is rescuing someone in Tokwe? It's a chariot that the spirit must have sent. Worship us. The worship of a eunuch. They ride upon the chariot. They journey. The other day, the Bible said, and the Lord spoke to Elijah, and he said, show up yourself before King Ahab. When he showed up, the Bible said, and he met Obadiah. And he said to Obadiah, tell Ahab that Elijah is here. And he said, I know you. You have a tendency. You are here. If I tell the king you are here, I know I won't find you. Why? Elijah had a chariot that he travels with. He showed up. He disappeared. Hear the Bible. When Philip was done preaching and baptizing the eunuch, when the eunuch opened his eyes, Philip disappeared. Where is he?
kae
Philip, where are you?
Filipo kae
Because the last time
ka gore la bohelo
from Jerusalem
go tswa ko Jerusalem
to Gaza,
go ya ko Gaza
you were walking.
o ne o tsamaya ka maoto
After the convocation,
morago ga go kopa
you disappeared.
wa nyelela
And he appeared
a
in a
iponagatsa
place called Azotus.
ko lehelong le bidiwa Azotus
Where did he disappear?
o ngeletse
He
ka
rode on a chariot.
o palame kara
He rode on a chariot.
o palame kara
The other day I was staying in Kasane
tsatsi lengwe ke le ko Kasane
because of the witchcraft and the satanism there.
ka ntateng ya boloi jwa bontsi gone ko
There were attacks happy, so you know.
wa itse
You try to sleep.
o leka go robala
Immediately when you catch sleep,
ga o bokapa boroko
there is a heavy weight coming upon you.
go na le bokete jwa bo go
You
gatelela
feel an oppressor.
o utlwa kgatelelo
And you wake up with a struggle. You wonder,
o ngakalla o ipotsa dipotso
Someone is in the house.
mongwe o teng gone
Tomorrow at the service,
ka moso ko tirelo
you enter, a demon will laugh at you
letimone la go tshega
and will tell you that when you sleep, you open up your mouth, you snore.
letlapo le tla go bolelela gore wa rora ga o robele
You ask the demon, how do you know?
le o botsa
The
letimone
demon
go
will
tsa
tell you that I was in your house yesterday night.
letimone le go ra le re letse ke le ko ga
And
gago
you will know to yourself because yesterday I was struggling.
wa itse ka gore o no
Said, hey,
ngakaletse
the demon
maba
came.
letimone le le
When I learned that,
ga ke ithuta se
I had to switch.
ka hetola
Every
maemo
night when I sleep,
bosigo ga ke robala
I don't cover myself with blankets.
ga ke ikhurumetse ka dikobo
Swallow me in your glory.
nkapesa ka kgalale
Bring the witchcraft you can perfect.
tsisa boloi botlhe jo go kgonang
And one pastor friend of mine was asking me, how do you sleep peacefully?
o robala jang o iketle
Because Kasani is a battleground.
ka gore ka sane ke lefelo la
I
tlhabana
said, brother, it's because you are trying to sleep yourself.
ke ka gore o leka go robala wena
I don't fight these things. I just sleep.
ke a robala ga ke lwele dilo
Learn how to disappear.
ithuta go nyelela
There are realms.
go na le maemo
And to access the realms,
gore o tsene mo maelong
the only time you can be entrusted with the vehicle of the spirit, be a worshiper.
gore o tshepiwe ka koloi ya moya nna mo obameng
I can't give you my car if I don't trust your driving.
ke ka se go ntshepe ka koloi ya me ke sa tshepe gore o kgweetsa jang
Bangwe a le utse o kgweetsa. Mme le batla dilori. Ga ona license mara o batla o kgweetsa. Your license to this vehicle of the spirit is worship.
go tetlelelo ya gago mo koloing ya moya ke kobamela
Imagine I give you this vehicle of the spirit and you go crash.
ke go neela koloi ya moya o bo a go thulaka
Worshippers, number one, they are so trusted. They are so trusted that you can leave them with treasures.
baobamedi ba tshepiwa gore o ka ba tlogela ka matlong
If you want this vehicle of the spirit,
ga o batla koloi ya moya
the license is worship.
tetlelelo ke kobamela
You be here
o tla bo o leya
and someone is celebrating beyond the borders. How?
mongwe a ba ipela ka kwa ga melelwane
How does that happen?
go diragala jang
And we journey.
ra tsamaya
We must journey.
re tshwanetse go tsamaya
We must journey.
re tshwanetse go tsamaya
You must journey.
re tshwanetse go
The
palamela
prophetess is worshiping here.
moporofita ga di wa
And
obamela
as she's worshiping here,
ga o obamela ga
I feel and I know and I see
ka utlwe ke a itse ke
that her
bone
spirit is in Nigeria.
gore moya wa gago o ko
The
Nigeria
headquarters of revival.
ko tsoseletso e tswang teng
And she's doing that effortlessly.
o dira seo a sa ngakalle
She's gone.
o tsamaye
Utlwa gore o sala pitse pina ka 2012 yena e opela. I'm like, pina we opetse ka 2012 la behelo. 2013, 14, 15, how many years? Almost 9-10 years. El gore tsantseng a di opela ke tse feng? Ga re opetse ka 2012. Ba eta. Ga go kwa nna la go opela go nna opetse matlhomoleng a ka Jesu na le nna. Ditsietsi le meleko Jesu na le nna. Ha go te one go re bile o change style o se wa reclaimela. Tsa ka moso o opela o lla. Ka moso o opela o thumana pelo. Go ro bereka go change mood mara opela pine one fela. Ga o tsamaye ga o eteke. Why can't you travel?
ke eng o sa ete
Why is your chariot?
kara ya gago e kae
Because as you are switching realms, when you enter a particular realm,
ga o tsena mo legatong le lengwe
that particular realm is a college.
legato leo ke sekolo
It teaches you things that are concerning that realm.
le go ruta gore ke eng se se
When you
diragalang mo
graduate, you
lelong.
go another realm.
ga o aloga wa ko
You
legatong le
enter
lengwe
there, you are taught.
ga o tsena ko wa
You
rutiwa
enter another
o
realm.
tsena mo go le lengwe gape
You can't keep the same testimony from
o ka se
From
tshepe
ages to ages and ages to another.
Bopaki
From
jo le
generation to
botlhe.
generation.
kokomane go a kokomaneng
It's not like you're original. You're not original.
ga o a mmaru
You are static.
o ntse golo go le nosi
Where is your chariot?
sepalangwa sa gago se kae
Because if your chariot is ready,
ka gore ha sepalamo se le ready
if your chariot is ready,
ha sepalamo se ipanga
anytime,
nako nngwe le nngwe
when he says, come up hither.
ha re palamela kwana
I said, if your chariot is ready,
ha sepalangwa se ipaakantswe
Ika, when he says, come up hither,
ha
come
re
up.
palamela kwano palama
How about the Madia Spala? Moses,
Moshe
come up hither.
palamela kwa
His chariot was ready.
sepalangwa sa gago se ne se ipanga
Because the Bible says that he's a man who saw God face to face.
ka gore baebele ya re o bone modimo matlho a phara
Anytime the Lord says, come up,
ha morena a re palamela kwana
the chariot is ready to take off.
sepalangwa se ipankantse go emela
Ready to take off.
se ipankantse go tlhatlhoga
Ready to take off.
se ipankanyeditse go tlhatlhoga
When that guy was heading for Jerusalem, he was going to the mountains of Jerusalem.
o na ya ko thabeng ya Jerusalem
Worshippers are men of mountains.
baobamedi ke banna ba dithaba
You must own a mountain.
o tshwanetse go busa thaba
I said you must own a mountain.
o tshwanetse wa busa thaba
If anytime you think of Mount Sinai,
ha o akanya ka thaba ya Sinai
who comes in your head?
ke mang yo o tlang mo tlhogong
The landlord is Abraham.
mongalegelo ke Abraham
If you think Mount Horeb,
ha o akanya ka thaba ya
who's the
Horeb
landlord of Horeb?
ke mang monga
The
thaba
landlord is Moses.
monga thaba ke mo
You think of Mount Olive,
o akanya thaba ya Olive
Jesus is the landlord.
Jesu ke monga yo
There's a landlord of mountains.
ke beng ba dithaba
Abraham said to the servants, remain down there.
Abraham a raba tlhanka a
Me
re
and the
sala
lad, we are going to worship, we shall return.
na le mokawana ra go obamela rapo
They worship in mountains.
ba obamela mo dithabeng
I'm not talking little mountains. I'm not talking about Khalifu.
ga ke bue ka dithaba tse di
When
bonagalang
I say a mountain, I'm talking about a level, a
ke
dimension,
bua ka legago
a height.
boleele
Are you hearing me?
ke bua le
I'm
wena
talking about a height.
Ke
They
bua ka
don't,
boleele
you can't render worship on an earthly proclivity.
ga o ka ke wa obamela o le mogatshi
You need a vantage point.
o tshwanetse o palamele ko
Because the
godimo
more you ascend, the clearer you see.
ka gore ha o palamela ko
The
godimo
more
o
you
bona
ascend, the clearer you hear.
ha o palama wa u
I tell you the truth, your eyes are limited to what you are seeing in the four corners of this house.
matlho a gago a lekanyeditswe mo go
But
seo
when
se
you go
bona
up on a little mountain,
mme ha o palama thaba
the whole village becomes in your sight.
motse wo wa bonagala mo ponong ya gago
After the service,
morago ga
your
tirelo
eyes are limited to where you are.
matlho a gago a lekanyeditswe ga o leng teng
You can't tell me what is happening in engine there if you're here.
ga o ka kwa mpolelela se se diragalang ko engine o leha
O ka se ka mpola serial go kgotleng ya mmopane o leha. La o ka tswala kwa ntle, you can't.
ga o kake
But go up the mountain.
palama thaba
The whole village of Mopani submit to your sight.
motse wa mopane o tla mo ponong ya gago
Levels changes whenever you transition.
magato a hetoga ga o palamela ko godimo
And imagine o lebeletse motse otlhe mo matlhong a gago ya. Go raya gore o eng? You are the territorial commander of the place.
o laola legelo leo
One of the things, the benefits of a worshiper.
dingwe tse di le monate ka
Worshippers are entrusted with territories.
baobamedi ba tshepiwa ka mahelo
They are keepers of the territories.
ba disa mahelo
Worshippers are eagles flying in the horizon of a district.
baobamedi ke bontsu ba ba
Worshippers
gokang mo
are eagles
kgaolong
hovering in the horizon of a nation.
ke bontsu ba ba gokang mo mahelong
The higher they are, the clearer they see things down there.
ha ba ya ko godimo ba bona sentle
I hear that whenever an eagle is struggling with something down here,
ke utlwa gore ha ntse e ngakaletse ka sengwe go tlasega
it doesn't take it up to the rocks.
ga e se ise ko godimo ga maje
It mounts higher and higher altitudes, higher
e
altitudes.
palamela ko godimo
It goes levels and levels where when that animal reach there, it
Hap-
become paralyzed.
ha phologolo yeo e tsena kwa ga e na
The
mosola,
animal will become numb.
e tlhoka mosola
Higher there
go palamela ko godimo
in the spirit.
mo moweng
The spirit is not a place where all people are obviously surviving.
moya ga se legelo le batho botlhe ba ka ema mo go lona
There are some people you take up in the spirit, they are choked and they die.
batho bangwe ga o ba tsenya mo legogong la
They
semoya ba
suffocate because they
kgamega
don't have what it takes
ka gore ga bana tse di mo teng ga
to
bone
contain the pressure.
go tshegetsa
And that
bokete
those don't mount up the spirit, they marvel because it's their place of abode.
go na le ba ba tsamayang sentle ka gore ke bodulo jwa bone
Worshippers are spirits.
baobamedi ke mewa
The spiritual realm is the place of their abode.
legaugau la semoya ke ga ba dulang teng
Are you preparing your chariot?
a o bankanya sepalangwa sa gago